Hey guys! Welcome to my channel. It is Jessie. I am here today to do a favorite books of this year so far video, and I do have books as well as comic books, and I am linking all of the full video reviews below, so please be sure to check that out if you see a book that interests you. Otherwise, I just want to say a quick Happy 4th of July. I'm decked out. I got cool nails, scarf, red lips, so I'm excited for today. I would love to know how you guys celebrate as well, so comment below and let me know what you're up to today. Otherwise, here we go. Also, just a really quick note to let you know that these books are not in any particular order. These are just my top 10 books of the year so far. I've read a total of 39 books so far, so that's pretty darn good for me. And yeah, like I said, I just wanted to share my top favorites so far, so here they are. The first one is Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. This is a collection of poetry, and it is broken into 4 sections: the hurting, the loving, the breaking, the healing. It is an absolutely beautiful read. This is one of my favorite books ever. It is so fantastic, and I had been wanting to get into poetry, didn't really know where to start. So thankful I picked this up, and I really think that most people will enjoy this, especially women. I freaking adored pretty much every single page in this whole book, and I highly recommend it. Then there is Confess by Colleen Hoover. I read this towards the beginning of this year, and it is still up on my top favorites so far. It's about a girl named Auburn and a guy named Owen and how they cross paths. It's a cute love story. It also ripped my heart out. The first 10 pages were so brutal and raw and beautiful in a way too, but this one definitely stole my heart pretty quickly. It was the first Coho book I've ever read, and I really enjoyed it. But it's a really fun story about a second chance at love. Of course, Owen's got some secrets too, so as things get unraveled and revealed, it kind of tests the relationship. So it's a really beautiful story, and I highly recommend this as well. Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. This is one of my favorite books ever too. I just fell in love with it. I had no idea what to expect going in. Never read anything by Renee Carlino, and really just adored this book as well. It's a really great story, partly because the guy, Matt, is a photographer for National Geographic, and I'm a photographer, so I definitely loved that aspect, getting to kind of relate on terms of his art and creativity there. But it deals with Grace and Matt, who are seniors at NYU, and they move in to the dorms next door to each other, and it's about this friendship that happens really quickly, and it's very deep, and this sort of love story that builds over a year. Life kind of tears them apart after graduation, and so 15 years passes before they cross paths again, and Matt spots her on the subway. So it's about this reconnection, a second chance at love, and it's just a really beautiful story. There was a twist in there too that I didn't see coming, and I just thought it was super beautiful and just a fun contemporary read. Next is The House of Bradbury by Nicole Meyer. I was sent this by Booksparks in a May Summer Reading Challenge box, and I was really surprised by this gem of a debut novel. I really loved it way more than I ever thought I would, and I just can't describe enough how beautiful the writing style is, how great the characters are. The storyline was something that I've never really read about before, and I found it really interesting and intriguing, and it kind of had all the elements. So there was a little bit of love story connections in there, it had a little bit of mystery, it had a little bit of heartbreak and hope and determination, and it had everything kind of rolled up perfectly into this great little read. I absolutely enjoyed it, and I cannot thank Nicole enough because I did just receive a signed copy from her, and I am doing a giveaway soon, so please keep an eye out for that because I cannot rave about this enough. Highly, highly recommend it. It's a great light summer read. It's so fun, and I really hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Then there is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. This is the first in the trilogy, and with the movie that was being released early this year, I really wanted to jump on board and read the book before the movie. So I did get this for Christmas. It was an early read at the beginning of this year. I'm not a huge sci-fi fan, so I was a little bit skeptical going into this, knowing that there was aliens involved, but what I do have to say about this is it totally changed my mind about this genre and really did pique my interest about it. So it is about a girl named Cassie who one day her whole entire world gets flipped upside down. And so what we do is we see that this alien ship rolls in and slowly is wiping out the human population. So the first thing they do in the first wave is take out all the lights. The second wave throws in a tsunami and floods them all. And then the third one, there's a disease kind of being spread by birds, and it wipes out, I believe it's like 97% of the human population. So there is not a lot of people left. These aliens are definitely coming in to take over, and yet Cassie is still alive and searching, and she was separated from her family, and so she's on the hunt to find them. So it's a great story about survival and her determination. Great action-packed storyline. I do recommend this as well. So go in with an open mind, because I was a little skeptical, and like I said, I was really truly happy with it. So yes, again, check it out, and if you've seen the movie, let me know what you thought about the adaptation as well. Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Holy cow, this is such a cute book. It's another contemporary, it is fiction, and it's just a super cute story about these twins, Kath and Ren, and they are going to start college. They have been pretty much inseparable ever, the first 18 years of their life. So going into college, Ren really wanted to figure out who she was and be more independent, so she kind of leaves poor Kath out in the open, all alone, and she retreats into this shell. She doesn't get a lot out of her first year at college, and basically spends a lot of her time on the internet in this fan fiction world of Simon and Baz. It has a cute love story and a cute love interest, and it's just one of the cutest books I've ever read. It made me so happy. I couldn't put it down, and constantly was like a little schoolgirl, all giddy, and I loved the messages in here as well, but I just think this was such a fun, cute summer read that's, a contemporary that I feel like a lot of people can really relate to. Then I have Hidden Bodies by Carolyn Kepnes. This is the second book in the duology. There's actually one before it called You, which I wasn't totally blown away with, because I thought it was going to be a little bit more creepy, and it just didn't catch me like I expected it to, and I think that was just my fault for listening to like all the hype. But this book definitely loves it. It carried on perfectly. I love the character. But this series is about a guy named Joe Goldberg who is constantly on the hunt for love and is being blown off by these women. And so he is a stalker, and it is so creepy, and it makes you wonder why in the world you would put your whole life on social media and yet do it anyway. And he's so lovable and creepy, and I just could not get enough. And I really hope that this series continues, because I could not get enough of Joe Goldberg. I am constantly thinking about him, his pop culture references, his crazy internal thought processes, and everything that he goes through. So it's a really enjoyable, quick-paced read about this creepy stalker guy named Joe just looking for some love. So definitely pick these up. I really loved them and hope you will too. The last book in my favorite books for the year so far is He Will Be My Ruin by K.A. Tucker. This one blew me away. I had seen it a few times on Instagram, but wasn't really sure. Just the cover alone really caught my attention, and then when I started to read the synopsis, it just sounded really great, so I did pick it up. It is about a girl named Maggie who finds out that her best friend has committed suicide. So she packs up where she is in that moment and flies to this apartment and is supposed to clean it out. So her best friend is Celine, and she starts to find these clues to make Maggie feel like, okay, she did not commit suicide, that this was actually a murder, and she was going to get to the bottom of it. Whether she had help or not, she was going to get to the bottom of this. So it was really interesting. It kept me pointing fingers at every other character, and every time we would get a clue and I felt like one, door kind of closed, another would open, and there would be a whole new set of suspicious characters, and I was constantly left guessing, which I found really refreshing, and I really enjoyed it. It was just a lot of fun kind of mixed in with the suspense of this, so I definitely think you guys would love this, especially if you guys liked Hidden Bodies and You. This is kind of right up that alley, so definitely check it out. Alright, so now on to the comics and graphic novels that I read so far this year that are my absolute favorites. And the first one is going to be Sapi by, I believe it's Philippa Rice, and this is so stinking cute. I loved it. What I loved the most about this is that it portrays a real everyday relationship. So it shows the highs and the lows, not just all the cute things that happen. So this is, like I said, day to day, the in and out, the things we do for our loved ones, and just those moments that I feel like make a relationship so special and intimate, and just, not that Disney princess story, but all the stuff behind it that makes it so fantastic, and this portrays it so perfectly. Then I have Rat Queens Volume 1, Sass and Sorcery, and I am really surprised how much I loved just the first volume of this because I haven't gotten too much into the story. It kind of leaves the backstory, how we get these girls, how they come together, everything is kind of open. So we don't know a lot about them. All we know is that they are these mercenaries for a town, and they are just kick-ass girls that go and take care of business, and they're tough and strong and just pretty awesome. So I'm definitely loving the strong female characters in this, and just again, I look forward to getting more of their backstory and how this all came into play in the other edition. Next, I have Lumberjanes Volumes 1, 2, and 3, and this series has surprised me so much. I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. I was constantly laughing and finding awesome new females to look up to as well. So it's about these 5 girls who are at a summer camp, and they are battling some pretty interesting characters. It is a little sci-fi, there's a little fantasy, and it's just, like I said, it just had me laughing, and that's probably one of my favorite things. It's just how unique each one of these characters are and how they are so different, and yet they form this really strong female friendship and these bonds, and it's just awesome and funny and pretty quick-paced, sometimes a little bit too fast, but I really feel like it's gotten stronger as this series has gone on, so I can't wait to see where it heads next. And I definitely think you guys should pick this up, especially if you liked Nimona. I think I like these just a little bit better. So yeah, definitely check it out. Alright, so the next one is Sweet Tooth Volumes 1 through 6, and this is a series that has blown me away. So if you've been following me, you know a little bit about this series. I went up to Fort Collins with my husband. We just took a day trip up there. We ran into this comic book shop and asked the guy behind the counter that, you know, we were looking for something that we could share together, and that we really loved The Walking Dead, so he recommended Sweet Tooth. And so we picked up the first volume thinking, okay, we'll get through the first one, and if we like it, we'll order more. And we definitely fell in love with it. It is so great. This series is about our main character Gus here on the front and a guy named Jeopard. And what is happening is there was a disease that spread and is killing off the human race. So it is this great post-apocalyptic story, and they are trying to figure out where this plague is coming from, why it's killing everybody off, and on top of it, we have this hybrid breed here like Gus that is starting to appear. So they are humans with animal-like features. So he obviously has antlers, and there's a bunch that they meet along the way. So we just kind of start off where he is on his own in this world that he doesn't know anything about, and he's curious and leaves this safety net that he had been in, finds Jeopard, who ends up rescuing him, and we just kind of follow this journey as they search for answers to why this all started and what's going to happen, where he came from, and all of that. So I just finished wrapping this up, and it did not end the way I thought it would, but it's fantastic, and I loved it so much, and I'm really sad that it has come to an end. I really recommend this if you guys are interested in anything post-apocalyptic, or if you like The Walking Dead. This is definitely right up your alley. I highly recommend it, and I really did love it, and I am sure I will reread this again in the future. Alright, last but not least is probably one of my all-time favorite comics, just because it was the first one I picked up, and it's just so awesome in my opinion, and it is Lady Killer, and I'm thrilled that they are working on a second part of this because I could not get enough of Josie and really wanted more and didn't know at the time that they were going to. So when little bits started to be released that they were working on it again this spring, I just flipped out. So I can't wait to get my hands on more of this series. We follow this lady here. This is Josie. She is a housewife and also an assassin. So it's super interesting to see her balance the life between this perfect housewife from like the 1950s, 1960s, and then being this working, awesome lady who is just so happens to be an assassin. So it's really interesting to see her balance those. The fashion is on top, spot on, like perfect. The graphics are amazing, and the use of red in here was probably one of my favorite things about it because it was so tastefully done. Otherwise, I think it could have been really gruesome and just wouldn't have kept my attention. But like I said, I can't wait to continue on. It's just absolutely amazing, and I loved it. So if you guys like strong female characters, definitely pick this up and let me know what you think because I can't get enough of Josie. Alright guys, so those are my favorite books at this very point in time of 2016. Let me know if any of my favorites match up with your favorites. I would love to know. And if not, let me know what your favorite ones are so I can definitely add them to my list. If you saw something that caught your attention, there are links below to where you can either buy on Amazon or watch my full review to get more in-depth thoughts on it. They are as spoiler-free as possible, so definitely check them out. Let me know what you think, and subscribe for more videos coming your way soon. Thank you guys again. I hope you have a fantastic 4th of July, and I will see you next time. Bye!